Hi everybody, my name is Brian, and today I'm going to be talking about accurately gauging your commitment for your cycling ambitions. I'm going to start by completely destroying, something that we're told as kids, usually when you're partaking in a sport or even, going for something when you're younger, and that's you have to be 100% committed to whatever you do. You have to be 100% committed to getting that job or your education, or as in this setting, you have to be 100% committed towards reaching your goals. And there's some situations where maybe you're getting close to that. If you're going for an Olympics, you're in the development squad, or you want to be an aspiring professional cyclist, you might be pushing that boundary. The rest of us, we're not even close. Honestly, we're nowhere close to 100%. So we're going to talk today about why we're not, and what you can do, what it means, and why it doesn't mean giving up your dreams. If you're watching on my website, anything that I talk about where I reference another blog or a study or anything like that is going to be linked in the blog itself. So if you want to find out more information about anything I talk about, just scroll down and you'll find the links to the other resources. If you're on my YouTube channel, in the description of this video, I'm going to link it there. So again, after you finish watching, if you want more information, just go down. Now, of course, make sure you subscribe if you're on my YouTube channel. And if you're on the website, there'll be a little pop-up or a form somewhere for you to be able to, give me your phone number or your email address. And don't worry, I'm not going to spam you. It's going to be very infrequent. I'm not going to, do anything stupid with your information. I value that. But what you will get is you will get informed about when I release new information, new blogs, new videos. Excellent, everything. So back to the topic. Right. So the thing for me, and this is what I always say, one of the first things I do when I accept a new client, and I'm like, yeah, you seem like a really cool person. You've got great goals. Let's find out a little bit more about you, and we're going to get you to fill out this form. Now, one of the last questions on that form is, how do you rate your commitment level on a scale of 1 to 10, right? Where 10 would be, I want to just do everything absolutely possible to reach my goal. And 1 is I don't really care. I want to enjoy the journey as much as possible. And the goal itself doesn't mean as much to me. So you can probably already see, if you're at either end, you've already got some challenges. At the bottom, you're probably not motivated enough. And if you're at the top, you've probably got unrealistic expectations and what you can actually sacrifice, and here's why. There's so many things that you would have to sacrifice to be 100% committed. It's like chasing perfection, right? Chasing perfection is a fool's goal, right? A fool's goal. It's a stupid thing to try and do. You're always going to be miserable and unhappy. It's the same with 100% commitment. And people that head into their goals, their events, anything that they do with that expectation on themselves, often end up quitting because they slip, they make a mistake, and then it's really hard for them to put that mistake aside and be able to get back on and, get nailing, get going. So the first thing, one of the most important things in my job is to make sure we don't start on a journey which is doomed to fail. And that's why I talk to my clients and new clients about, what their commitment is. So if someone comes to me and they say they're a 10, they're a 9, or they're an 8, and I briefly explain to them what that looks like in terms of their training. So, that might be that they spend all their time indoors when an indoor training session is going to produce the best results. Not all training will be indoors, but the ones that I say are indoors, they have to do inside. If you live in California or somewhere hot, ultimately you're already like, I don't want to do this, If you live in the UK, the winter, you might be like, heck yeah, this sounds amazing. And that one day in the summer where it's going to be nice weather, and I'm like, you're indoors, you're going to quit, honestly, or you're not going to quit, you're going to lie, you're going to go outside, or whatever you're going to do. So that is a perfect example. Another example is how you treat your nutrition. We don't have to eat like monks to see really impressive gains in our cycling through our nutrition. You can have the odd beer, right? You can have like McDonald's. I don't recommend it, of course. But what I do recommend is, a balance between and actively chasing your goals and being a human being. And that's what I'm talking about here. And this is the thing that, you know, typical coaching sports performance doesn't really understand. You know, it's so linear, the linear progression between where an individual is and where they need to be. And there can't be a deviation. And that's why I often get, you know, hate emails or, you know, bad comments from other coaches or sports scientists where they just don't understand the human. You know, they're incredibly good at what they do. I have a lot of respect for sports science, but ultimately the biggest factor here is the human element. And that's why, you know, sports science studies are never repeated exactly the same. Because even if you use the same people, those people change. They have, you know, different stresses going on. They have, you know, they eat differently, sleep differently, and that's why the results are never identical. So what we know is that, you know, there is this best way for you, or there are many best ways for you to start training. If you can do all of those, good for you. You're going to see incredible gains. You're going to get there. You're going to smash your goals. But ultimately, you're probably still going to see, well, you will see great gains, but you probably still will reach your goals by having, you know, treating yourself like a human being. And that involves having some fun. And, you know, that's the big thing about me, it's engagement. You know, I have incredible client retention rate because people come to me and they have a lot of fun. You should check out the testimonial videos. One of the number one factors that people tell me, and they openly talk about, is just how fun training can be. And training should be fun, right? And that's where you increase the engagement. And long term, your gains are going to be bigger from doing more training over that big period than, you know, doing some short stuff and then quitting because you're not enjoying it. So just remember that. That's the big thing. So I talked a little bit then about, you know, your goals. And, you know, that's the thing. This is where, you know, having accurately setting your goals, which again, that's linked, you know, go and see that about my thoughts on, you know, about what that means, how you accurately set goals. You know, I'm not telling people to stop dreaming big. Like, seriously, having big dreams and aspirations are fantastic. You know, we're all human, yeah. Most of you probably want to be a professional bike rider, or you want to be something that you know realistically is never going to happen. Don't ever stop believing, you know, and having that dream, because you never know, it might come true. What you don't want to do is have unrealistic expectations that you will get there. Your dream should be something that would be amazing if you achieve it, but, you know, you should have other goals that are really important to you that you can achieve. So if you're listening to this, you know, you read the blog and you're like, well, you know, I don't know whether I can actually achieve my, you know, my ambitions and my goals, my next step, you know, in the next 9 to 12 months or shorter, that time frame, you know, definitely reach out to me, because we can talk about how we can look at your training and whether or not you need to change your goals. And that, again, is day one fundamental coaching for me, is, you know, talking to my new clients and being like, look, is this reasonable for you to get there? And I can tell most people whether that's reasonable or not. And, you know, we could put that, you know, that goal in that dream category for this year. Maybe it comes down into more of that category A again. Prioritizing your events is really important. Again, that's another blog and video, so make sure you check that out. And we talk about A, B, and C events. You know, C being something that is really for training, B is something that is, you know, fairly important but not massively important, and A is like your number one events. Your A events have to be achievable. If you don't think that, or it's too far, you know, or if you have to sacrifice too much, you can't be as committed as you think you need to be for your A event, you need to drop those A events, because ultimately, you know, you're not going to be able to do that. And dropping those A events, that expectation, to something slightly more manageable, you know, is better than failing altogether. So that might mean that actually this year, you know, you're doing something a little bit less, you're getting to that, and then next year you're going for it. That, again, it's so hard for me to tell you individually right now what is the best solution for you. And that's why, you know, if you really are stuck, reach out to me for consultations for 15 minutes are free. And, you know, even if you don't want to work with a coach, you know, long term, you know, I have a retainer system where you could pay me a certain amount a month for a bit of my time, and that might be what is really appropriate for you, and you might find some really big benefits from that. And that's kind of it, you know, like, there's so much to this, you know, it's a real thinker. You're probably thinking an awful lot around, you know, actually, you know, what am I doing? I think the main thing is, you know, actually, don't take it too seriously, you know, unless you have to. You know, I work with some athletes who are, you know, we have to talk about, you know, actually, you know, we need you to not ride outside, or we need you to not be eating takeout food. And especially there's some timing around that, you know, like, you definitely don't want to be eating takeout food or getting drunk before a event. You know, so there's always a give and take, but like I say, it's really important for you to enjoy that training, because you know what is cycling if you're not enjoying it, right? None of us get on the bike to be miserable. None of us want to train to be miserable. So, you know, if you're training right now and you're just not enjoying it, seriously reach out to me, because I guarantee that I can make it more enjoyable, and we can talk about whether your goals are realistic around that. So, you know, thanks for that. Leave me a comment. I love to hear from you, whether you think this is absolute bull or whether you're like, yeah, actually, you know what, it really makes a lot of sense to me. So, you know, if you're on my YouTube channel right now, you know, comment, like, thumbs down if you have to. You know, if you do like it, share it with your friends, please, and make sure you subscribe. If you're on the website, again, you know, check out some of my other content. Definitely, you know, subscribe to my email and my text message service. If you do feel like you need to chat, you know, fill out that form to come to me. And you know, again, I always say it's just about the journey. You know, it shouldn't be stressful. So if you are stressed, you know, let's do something about it. Anyway, thank you. I'm Pav Bryant. It's been amazing. I love talking about this, and have an awesome day.